Good evening, everyone, and thank you for joining us. We were due to film our presenters announcing the winners a couple of weeks ago. Unfortunately, just 2 days before filming, London went into the second tier of COVID restrictions and we had to change our plans. As a result, each presenter was filmed individually in their home or office. It was not what we'd originally envisaged, so please do forgive the array of backgrounds. Rest assured, none of the winners have been notified in advance, so please do use the chat function, which everyone can see, to share your congratulations and support. If you're having any difficulties with the platform, you can message our Advocate team for help. Just click on the People tab at the top of the chat box, click on the filter function and select Organisers. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy the ceremony.
Welcome to the 2020 Bar Pro Bono Awards. My name is Robin Knowles and I'm the chairman of Advocate. We may not be able to have the drinks reception and physical exhibition surrounding the awards this year as we have in the past, but these are strange times and they call for alternative approaches, and we hope that this virtual ceremony will be just as good. The pandemic and the resulting lockdown have created serious challenge. Serious challenge that we've seen in the advice sector. Serious challenge also that we have seen across parts of the bar, affecting the practices of many barristers and their chambers across the country. Despite the adversity, the bar, including some of the barristers who've been most affected, have been amongst the first to step up in these extraordinary times to help those who desperately need the specialist help that the bar can give. At Advocate, we saw a huge increase in these last months in the new volunteers on our panel of barristers. We saw an even bigger uplift in those taking on work. This year, barristers are on track to take on more pieces of pro bono work through Advocate than ever before, and we are grateful to every single person who has provided advice or drafting or legal representation in court or before a tribunal to somebody who really needed that legal assistance. But Advocate is by no means the only route, of course, to carry out pro bono work. Over the course of this evening, we are going to hear about the many barristers, clerks, entire sets that have worked tirelessly to provide access to justice this year, whether it be through partnering with existing charities or setting up new schemes or initiatives, sometimes in partnership with Advocate, sometimes not. The bar's efforts, the efforts of the profession to help those less fortunate have been truly inspiring. This is an effort that we've seen elsewhere across the profession, of course, and the bar pays tribute to the solicitors, the chartered legal executives, the paralegals, and the law students who also have responded to the needs that are so present in these times. We're proud at Advocate to work right alongside them. With so much inspiring pro bono work happening this year, we were delighted, really delighted to see a record-breaking 51 nominations for the 2020 Bar Pro Bono Awards. That is, as I say, a record. And what better year, what more important times for a record like that to be reached. It is great to be able to hear about and celebrate such excellent work And I don't exaggerate when I say that every single nominee would be a worthy winner of one of the awards. Please do take time to look at the brochure, see the variety of work that has been done, and read some of the comments that colleagues and clients and others have made in support of the nominations. Our independent judging panel has given up huge amounts of time to go through the entries, to discuss the entries, and make difficult decisions. We are very grateful to the panel for its work. This year, the panel consisted of the following: Lord Goldsmith, QC, Advocates, Founder and President; Amanda Pinto, QC, the Chair of the Bar; the Director of the Law Centres Network, Julie Bishop; Catherine Calder and Rachel Holmes, the co-chairs of the Legal Practice Management Association; John van der Loit Drummond, the editor of Legal 500 UK Bar; Catherine Duncan, the chair of the Young Barristers Committee; Philip Bennett, QC, and Ryan Richter, co-chairs of the Employed Bar Committee; the chair of the Bar Council's Pro Bono Committee, Leanne Target Parker; and the secret barrister. Some of those judges will be joining us tonight to present the awards. Thank you again to all of them. The Lord Chief Justice, Lord Burnett, as well will present some of the awards, underlining his commitment and that of the judiciary. But before we begin the ceremony, I must say one particular set of thanks, and that's to LexisNexis, who once again are very kindly sponsoring the Bar Pro Bono Awards. Without that sponsorship, it would not be possible to have these awards. It's with real pleasure that I hand over to James Harper of LexisNexis, a friend of Advocate and all of us, to say a few words.
Thank you, Robin, and it's a pleasure to be here this evening on behalf of LexisNexis to welcome you to this event. LexisNexis places the rule of law at the very heart of its strategy. Our central objective is to advance the rule of law around the world. Let me just clarify what I mean by the rule of law, because as a term, rule of law is being used more and more often, especially at the moment. I mean four things. The first is that everyone is equal under the law. So no matter who you are, the law treats you the same. The second is that everyone should have access to the law. You need to know what the law says, otherwise you can't comply with it and you can't use it in your defense. The third is that the law should be administered by an impartial judiciary that aren't subject to corruption or overt government oversight. And finally, that everyone should have access to justice or access to the legal system. Now, this last part is fundamental, because even if the other three exist, if you can't access the legal system, your rights can be ignored, and then you don't have the rule of law at all. And it's in this last part that the people in this virtual room make such a massive contribution. In the UK, we know that 70% of people, when they face a legal problem, often at the most difficult and dark moment in their lives, get no professional support whatsoever. Of the remaining people, 10% pay and go to a law firm or a barrister or another legal professional, but 18% go into the free legal advice community, which includes pro bono, almost double the number that go into the paid for legal sector. That's why the people that are contributing to pro bono and access to justice in the UK are playing such a vital and fundamental role. And that's why LexisNexis is delighted to be sponsoring and supporting this evening's event. We want to be seen to be standing shoulder to shoulder with you in this challenge that you are helping people up and down this country face, providing your skills, your support, and your knowledge at a moment when they need it the most. So thank you on their behalf and on ours for everything that you've been doing. Now, I'm particularly excited to find out who has won this evening's awards. So let's get straight into it. Congratulations to everyone who has been nominated. Thank you again for everything that you're doing. And let's find out who has won.
Devoting hundreds of hours between them to varying causes that assist vulnerable people in far-flung places around the globe, the nominees for International Pro Bono Barrister of the Year have taken on some spectacular work. The nominees are Monica Faria Tinta for her work as counsel to West Timorese communities in an unprecedented claim for transboundary harm against Australia before the UN special procedures. The case will set a world precedent in relation to environmental harm from oil spills, and she has undertaken much of this work single-handed. Richard Honey, for spending the last 8 years dedicated to organising and undertaking pro bono work in Sierra Leone. During this time, he campaigned to decriminalise the country's libel laws, assisted the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Environmental Protection Agency, and helped to draft the bylaws for Freetown City Council's Transform Freetown programme. Samina Iqbal, for co-founding a pro bono organisation called Women Internationally Gaining Skills, which works to deliver advocacy and legal skills training to female law students and advocates. It focuses on countries where there is a marked absence of women in this space. Training has already successfully taken place in Bangladesh and is intended to roll out across Southeast Asia. Sangeeta Iyengar for undertaking an incredible range of international pro bono work. She is particularly recognized for her significant contribution to helping asylum seekers on the Greek island of Lesbos, both before and after the fire in the refugee camp there. She spends several weeks a year helping out on the ground, and her work there has led her to being invited onto the board of the non-governmental organisation Phoenix Humanitarian Legal Aid. Shona Jolly QC for her extensive work as chair of the Bar Human Rights Committee. Dedicating at least 20 hours a week, this work covers many areas and includes confronting the rule of law crisis in Hong Kong, challenging police brutality in Chile, and providing international human rights law training in Kazakhstan. The winner in this category was a standout favourite amongst the judges. For her impressive work with asylum seekers, the winner of the International Pro Bono Barrister of the Year Award is Sangeeta Iyengar.
This year's nominees for Pro Bono Chambers Professional of the Year are all praised for their exceptional determination to help barristers understand the benefits of doing pro bono and making the experience as smooth as possible for clients and barristers alike. The nominees are Luke Cavallo for revolutionising the way his chambers takes on pro bono work. He introduced new working practices to match barristers with suitable pro bono cases. Luke also championed the importance of pro bono in professional development, embedding it into the induction process for all new barristers and pupils. Nick Levitt for his overall commitment to pro bono and encouragement of barristers of all levels of seniority. He coordinates 5 different pro bono schemes and organisations within chambers and is praised for his personalised and careful approach. Nick was also nominated for his compassion and empathy when dealing with inquiries from members of the public. And Sophie Floyd for her outstanding efforts to place pro bono cases in chambers. She is said to go above and beyond when dealing with pro bono clients, taking care to be a reassuring presence. Sophie often explains the court process to pro bono clients and helps with administrative work where needed if there's no solicitor in place. The judges were particularly impressed with the huge amount of support for the winner's nomination and thought it extraordinary that so many people wanted to recommend them for this award. The winner of the 2020 Pro Bono Chambers Professional of the Year Award is Nick Levitt.
There were 14 nominations in this category, which includes barristers over 7 years call up to Queen's Counsel. The judges were overwhelmed by the calibre and breadth of work in this category. Nominees have supported a wide variety of organisations, including Amour Destine, the British Red Cross, the Chancery Litigant in Person Scheme, Cardiff Law School's Innocence Project, Windrush, Legal Angels, and many more. They have devoted their time to immigration and asylum projects, environmental causes, and issues arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. The commitment displayed by nominees in this category made it very difficult for the judges to pick a winner. And the judges chose to recognise 4 individuals as highly commended in this category. The nominees for Junior Pro Bono Barrister of the Year are Amritpal Bachu, Anthony Eskander, Bojana Asanovic, Emma Dakin, Josephine D'Souza, Justin Bates, Kyron Whitehead, Martin Hurst, Sailesh Mehta, Sarah Blackmore, Sarah Pinder, Sarah Salmon, Tim Naylor, and Zimran Samuel. The highly commended individuals in alphabetical order for his ongoing tireless efforts, volunteering with FRU for the last 10 years, Amritpal Bachu. For her impressive work for migrants' rights, Bojana Asanovic. For her wide-ranging commitment across a variety of organisations, Sarah Pinder. And for her strong collaboration with her junior counsel, as well as her own dedication to the case, Sarah Salmon. The winner in this category was praised not only for his own pro bono work, but the way in which he got others involved too. He took on desperately needed work, supporting those facing immense difficulty during lockdown. For his work on supporting victims of domestic violence, the winner of the 2020 Junior Pro Bono Barrister of the Year Award is Zimran Samuel of Doughty Street Chambers.
One of the most outstanding aspects of this year's awards is the sheer number of people who were nominated in the Young and Junior Barrister of the Year categories. From the judging panel, Chair of the Bar, Amanda Pinto QC, said that the Young Barrister nominees were extraordinarily impressive. And Advocate Founder Lord Goldsmith QC acknowledged that the Junior Barrister category was an extremely strong list with many deserving winners. However, what is perhaps most remarkable about the 31 nominations across these 2 categories is the clear dedication to pro bono from younger members of the bar who have suffered so gravely from the effects of the pandemic. Back in April, a Bar Council survey found that 71% of young barristers were worried that they would not be able to survive 6 months without financial support. And yet, whether motivated by a desire to gain varied work experience or a drive to help those in desperate need of legal advice, the Young Bar have demonstrated that the commitment to access to justice and pro bono is stronger than ever. It gives me great hope for the future of the profession to see how so many young and junior barristers are continuing to fight for those who need their help in the face of great adversity. I couldn't agree more with my fellow judge, the secret barrister, when they said, I am, as ever, bowled over by the dedication and generosity displayed by all of the nominees, each of whom makes me thoroughly proud to be a member of this profession. This year, there were a record-breaking 17 nominations in the Young Pro Bono Barrister of the Year category. Between them, they have taken on an extraordinary amount of work and demonstrated an outstanding commitment to pro bono. This award will be presented at the Bar and Young Bar Conference on the 21st of November, but I'm delighted to be able to announce the full list of nominees now. They are a team nomination of one Crown Office Row Junior Environmental Law Team, consisting of Emma Louise Fenelon, Charlotte Gilmartin, Raj Kiran Barhay, Dara Coffey, and Tom Beaumont. Individual nominations are as follows: Anna Hoffman, Catherine Jackie, Chloe Lee, Christopher McCarthy, Gemma Carr, Harriet Wakeman, Jennifer McLeod and Emma Mockford, jointly nominated, Johan Ho, Joshua Griffin, Lawrence Yusafian, Malvika Jagan Mohan, Michael 18, Naomi Hart, Sam Brodsky, Sam Fowles, Sarah Barber.
The winner of the Lifetime Achievement in Pro Bono, the Sydney Elland Goldsmith Award, will be announced at the Bar and Young Bar Conference on the 21st of November. There are two very impressive nominees in this category this year. They are John Collins. Supporters of his nomination note that John believed that the point of a justice system was to remedy injustice, and he never refused to help someone in need. He dedicated decades of his professional life to taking on pro bono work and mentoring, and encouraged others to do so as well. He sometimes spent years on a case to see it through. Sadly, John passed away in April of this year, but he leaves behind him a legacy of kindness and an extraordinary commitment to justice. Philip Evans, QC. Philip has acted as a mentor to hundreds of Cardiff Law School students, offering support and training for well over 20 years and encouraging them to take on pro bono as part of their careers. He has played an invaluable role in the success and continued existence of Cardiff Law School's Innocence Project, committing enormous amounts of time to its cases, spending 3 years on one particular case to ensure that the client's conviction was overturned.
There are 6 nominees in this category. All of them have undertaken a wide variety of work, as well as providing outstanding mentoring and support to their junior colleagues. The nominees are Anthony Metzer, QC, for a number of projects, including acting in a landmark group judicial review claim on behalf of Commonwealth veterans against the Ministry of Defence and the Home Office. Anthony Spate, QC, for his detailed work on a long, ongoing judicial review case representing a student whose funding was withdrawn amid claims of fraud, which will likely have a profound effect on others. Ben Collins, QC, for raising and pursuing legal challenges on behalf of the many workers who were excluded from the government's furlough scheme and its new sick pay provisions, and for representing members of the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain in a number of cases. Charles Toomey, QC, for his unstinting support in a number of employment law cases. He took on many cases for both Advocate and the Employment Law Appeals Advice Scheme, ranging from representation in the Court of Appeal to small pieces of advice. Ijeoma Omembala, QC, for her work intervening in the Court of Appeal on behalf of mental health charity Mind, which had wider implications for many vulnerable users of court and tribunal services. She has also led advocacy training for students all over the world. Victoria Wakefield QC, for her dedicated championing of pro bono within chambers, and for her many pro bono hours devoted to supporting organisations like Advocates for International Development and Justice. This was another very difficult category to judge, with many of the nominees being described as outstanding. For his impressive work and encouragement of others, Anthony Metzer QC has been highly commended by the judges. The winner this year was praised for his extensive work, particularly relating to the furlough scheme. Ben Collins QC is the 2020 Pro Bono Queen's Counsel of the Year.
Pro Bono Chambers of the Year. Some chambers really prioritise enabling their members to do pro bono, building partnerships with organisations and providing positive support for their members who wish to get involved. All of the nominees have done outstanding work this year. They are Cloisters, nominated for their outstanding contribution to both the Employment Legal Advice Network and the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain. Barristers worked especially hard to create and update a back to work toolkit with detailed advice on issues arising from the COVID-19 pandemic. They also found time to provide both workshops and free legal clinics to the wider advice sector. Goldsmith Chambers, nominated for its involvement in a wide range of pro bono activities, including supporting organisations like Bail for Immigration Detainees, the British Red Cross, Amour Destiné, and Phoenix Humanitarian Legal Aid. Barristers are actively encouraged to spend time on pro bono projects, and Chambers organises and delivers regular training, seminars and webinars to both UK and overseas audiences. Old Square Chambers, nominated for its commitment to dedicating significant resources to taking on substantial cases for Advocate and supporting the Independent Workers' Union of Great Britain. During lockdown, barristers devoted many hours on behalf of people not covered by the government's furlough scheme. Members have also helped with inquests for the families of the Manchester bombing. Spire Barristers, nominated for its positive attitude to access to justice that permeates from the joint heads of chambers all the way through to the clerking team. It's an active participant in the Justice First Fellowship, which is designed to support the next generation of social justice lawyers, and has set up its own foundation to support vulnerable adults and care leavers, to which many members offer their time. The judges were impressed with the work that all of the nominees had taken on this year. The 2020 Pro Bono Chambers of the Year Award goes to Goldsmith Chambers.
A final congratulations to all of the winners and the nominees this evening. It does give a great deal of hope for the future to see such wonderful work being undertaken and illustrated this evening. Thanks go also to Sarah and to her team for all the organising behind this evening, and thanks one more time to LexisNexis for its sponsorship. At Advocate, we all look forward to seeing you and welcoming you at next year's awards, and hopefully in person. But for now, in the virtual environment in which we are this evening, we are going to open the networking back up. So please do stay and continue to talk with each other. on behalf of Advocate, thank you. Thank you for coming. Thank you for celebrating what is the Bar's extraordinary pro bono contribution.